Hello guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to another video. Today I've got Game Week 27 of the Championship review for you. So if you're new to these videos, then pretty much what I do is I go through all the results of each game week, and then I look at each result and just individually and determine sort of what that does for those teams. I'll have on-screen stuff like form, who that team's got next and who scored in that game. So yeah, it's pretty much just a kind of a summary video. As you know, I don't go to all of the games, so some of my comments on the videos may be a bit short and perhaps could be extended, but I'll try and give as much as I can. Okay, I'll admit that I forgot to do some predictions for this week, but it doesn't really matter because I did so terribly in my predictions for the previous week. So here are the results, and I'll just read them out. Sheffield United drew 0-0 with Sheffield Wednesday in the Steel City derby on Friday. Cardiff beat Sunderland 4-0 in the early kickoff. Barnsley held Wolves. Derby beat Birmingham. Brentford beat Bolton. Norwich won away at Bristol City. QPR won away at Burton. Hull and Reading played out a goalless draw. Ipswich beat Leeds. Middlesbrough lost 1-0 to Fulham. Millwall drew with Preston 1-1, and in the late kick-off, Nottingham Forest lost 1-0 at home to Aston Villa. Starting with the Steel City derby then, I didn't watch this game. I wanted to, but I was away on the Friday night. It was 0-0. Apparently it wasn't a very good game, so I'll take that word for it. So the result does not too bad for Sheffield United. They remain in the top six, but Sheffield Wednesday and then need to start picking up some points soon. I think they'll be fine because they're a decent club and they've got a decent team, but it's just this run of form. They just got to make sure they pick up a couple of wins and get their season back on track. So Sheffield United travel to Norwich next week, and Sheffield Wednesday host Cardiff in the late kickoff. Cardiff ended a poor run of form with a emphatic victory over Sunderland, although it was 0-0 at half time. So Cardiff on the back of 4 straight defeats, then an excellent win for them, and Pilkington scoring there, and new signing Vilchet from on loan from Norwich setting up. So something I took a note of. So good result for them. Leaves them third in the table and not too far off second. As for Sunderland, well, it's not looking good for them. They've had a mini sort of revival under Chris Coleman, but just 1 win in 5, so it looks like they're going to have to pick up some points soon, but they host struggling Hull next, so could be a win for them there. Barnsley kept up their recent revival then, no defeats in 4 now for them. They held the league leaders, They held the league leaders Wolves to a 0-0 draw, so it's not much of a problem for Wolves as they're so far ahead at the moment, and I think they're still going to win the league by about 10 points. No defeats for them in the last 10, I think, possibly even more than that. Good result for Barnsley, and they travel to Aston Villa next, and Wolves host Forest. Gary Rowett returned to St Andrews to haunt his former club yet again. Derby picked up a 3-0 win at Birmingham with Russell, Vidra and Vyman all getting another one, and Vyman all getting on the score sheet. So it keeps Derby's promotion push going. When they came to Carrow Road 3 or 4 months ago, they looked a pretty good side, so it's no surprise that they're doing so well at the moment. So they're on a similar run to Wolves, not lost many games, and they're picking up wins frequently. Birmingham, to be fair, have had a decent 3 games or so other than this one. But they head to Preston next and stay 23rd, and Derby host Bristol City on Friday night, I think, which should be a very good game. Fulham picked up a last gasp victory at Middlesbrough through a Norwood penalty. I think it was the 95th minute, and it was a debatable penalty, I have to say, and keeps a good run of form going for Fulham. 4 wins in 5 for them, and looking to push up the table now and charge for the playoffs. As for Middlesbrough, well, they weren't doing too bad previously. 3 wins in 4 before this game, and under Tony Pulis, it's going to take time for their season to turn around if it happens, but not in a too bad place, either of these teams at the moment. And Middlesbrough travel to QPR next, and Fulham host Burton. Brentford's excellent form continued with them picking up their 4th win in 5, this time beating Bolton, who hadn't been doing too badly themselves. Seemed like Brentford played pretty well. I did watch the highlights, and Brentford seemed to be the team to beat at the moment. Still 11th, but not too far off the playoff places for them. Bolton down to 21st, but they've made a good recent revival, and it's a lot better than where they were. So plenty of time left for both of these clubs. Bristol City lost their 3rd straight game. This time it was at the hands of Norwich, who picked up their 3rd win in 4 games. So contrast in terms of form for each of those teams. James Maddison popping up with the winner on 79 minutes. So great result for Norwich. Still 13th, but 6 points off the playoffs now. So dare to dream. Anyway, Bristol City remain in the playoff places. Have a big game next. Travel to Derby on Friday night. That one is on TV, so it could be a make or break game for them. But nevertheless, they're still having a pretty decent season in the semi-finals of the Cup, and so not looking too bad for them. And Norwich host Sheffield United, which will not be an easy game. QPR picked up just their second away win of the season. This time it was at Burton. So these two teams both had mixed form recently, but it's 2 wins in a row now for QPR. So hopefully for them they can have a revival. It moves them up to 14th. Burton, they've been not doing too badly. 2 wins in the previous 4 before this one, but a couple of big games coming up both for these clubs. Burton go to Fulham next, and QPR host Middlesbrough. There was only going to be one result in this game. Looking at that form, neither of these two teams have won any of their last 5 matches, so I guess it was only right that it finished 0-0. So not really too much more to say about these. Hull go to Sunderland next, could be a crunch game for them, and Reading travel to host inform Brentford, and that was another voice crack. Ipswich picked up a win over 10-man Leeds. Burton Selina scoring the winner, and it was a fabulous winner too, curled in about 30 yards out into the top corner from outside the box. So good goal to win. I'm not too sure, let's say, what happened during the game. There was a red card for a Leeds player just on half time, I think, which changed the game. So yeah, it's a good win for Ipswich, just ended a slight dip in form for them. And as for Leeds, that's now no wins in 3, but they still remain 7th and close to the playoff places. Millwall and Preston played out a 1-1 draw at the Den. O'Brien getting on the score sheet for Millwall, and Robinson striking back for Preston to earn them a point. So yeah, mixed fortunes for both of these teams at the moment in terms of form. Preston just 1 win in 5, but also just 1 defeat in 5, and Millwall pretty much they've been very good at home recently, but not so good away from home. 10th and 16th, that leaves Preston and Millwall respectively. So Millwall travel to Leeds next, and Preston host Birmingham. In the final game of the week then, this was the late kickoff at Nottingham Forest. Aston Villa picked up a 3rd straight win for them. Scott Hogan getting on the score sheet on 18 minutes, and they held on to secure, like I said, 3 home wins in a row. It's not looking too good for Nottingham Forest at the moment. They just sacked Mark Warburton, and no wins in 5 for them, but I'm sure things could turn around for them, although they do have a tricky trip to Wolves next, and Aston Villa host Barnsley. Okay, then on to our summary then, and I don't want to seem biased here, but a result of the game week I gave to Norwich, as it was a huge away win for us, and at Bristol City as well, at a very good club. But I'm trying not to be biased here, but I did think ours was probably one of the biggest, because also the week that Norwich have had off the field as well, it was great to get the win. And most important victory, I went for either Cardiff or Ipswich. Both of those teams put behind them a poor run of form. Goal of the game week I gave to Burton Selina. I've already talked a bit more about that. My prediction score, well, I didn't do too badly this week because I didn't take part. Promotion, I'm still pretty much certain that Wolves are going to go up, but relegation, it's pretty tough to tell at the moment. I mean, the teams down the bottom are starting to win games, so it could go either way, really. As for the table, there's not too much change this week, especially not really in the top 10 at all. Sheffield United moving back up into the playoffs, but otherwise not too much change there. As for the bottom, as again, not a huge amount happened. Most teams staying where they are. A little bit of a gap opening up between 17th and 20th, so 6 points there, so most teams above that should be safe from relegation. As for Game Week 28 fixtures then, Derby play Bristol City in the opening game, which is on Friday, and Sheffield Wednesday play Cardiff on the Saturday night, so some interesting fixtures there, some pretty big ones. Sunderland versus Hull, but big one for both of those teams. But yes, the games will keep coming. The week after that, I think it might be FA Cup, so I will just let you know if I'm going to be doing a game week summary on that, because I need there to be enough games for me to do a video like this. But yeah, just like to quickly apologise, because you'll probably notice of how I sound. I've been quite ill lately, so apologies, my voice is not quite as well, I don't know if you like my voice anyway, the monotonous tone, but anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. See you next time.